this manifold example. Bill of function is something that I wanted to communicate to you. Now coming back to the manifold, this fuel pump, it interfaces with the mold. It has to withstand pressure, resist vibration. Can you see the verb in the beginning? Interface, withstand, resist, transfer. The verb noun format is very important. Transfer fuel is a verb and a noun. Now I'm going to explain to you one more thing called as a block diagram. All of you make a note of it. Block diagram or interface diagram. Suppose if you have a combustor here, there are a lot of interface with the combustor. Combustor is generally in the automotive, aerospace and all, right? So along with the combustor, if you see a component, a subcomponent, there are a lot of other components around that. There are a lot of other interfaces around that, right? So if you see the battery which you put in a mobile phone, if you put a SIM card inside a mobile phone, there are a lot of interfaces along with the SIM card, correct? If you put a battery inside a mobile phone, there are a lot of interfaces, like the cap is interfacing, a lock is interfacing, the body is interfacing, and there are a lot of interfaces. How many of you understood this interface? Similarly, it is very important to understand the component which you are trying to do the FMEA. You should understand which all it is interfacing with, because whatever it is interfacing with may get affected if this is not designed properly. For example, if SIM card is not designed properly, something else can get affected. If battery is not designed properly, covering the cap may not be proper. The covering the cap might be okay, but because the battery is little bulging, because of it is interfacing. How many of you are clear about this? So this is called as a block diagram or an interface diagram. I'm just giving you an example. An interface diagram, you need not draw the exact components, as long as this is actually a simplest way of doing a boundary diagram. Many people will draw the actual components and the explosion of components, exploded view of the components around that, the components which we are designing. But I strongly recommend that for simplicity, you need not put those drawing of the components, which will consume a lot of time. As long as you indicate different components around that, which is it interfacing, that is more than enough. So this is one example which I've given where there are a lot of interfaces. You can go to the second component level. For example, combustor is interfacing with the windshield, windage shield, and then that is interfacing with RTS, or OGV that is interfacing with the compressor.